Hi everyone, my name is Rachel de Guzman. I am your Sports on Purpose host. On this vlog, we will be spreading awareness on the most valuable life lessons learned and wisdom gained from playing, coaching, and participating in sports by bringing the most fascinating conversations with some of the most inspirational and insightful sports personalities in the country. Yeah, we were talking about the mental tool you would normally use under pressure. So it was a combination of positive, am I right?
Yes, yes, a
And some
combination of
negative.
positive and negative because that's just the way it is. Um, I think that's also the way I'm wired. You know,
Mhm.
I know many athletes, many runners um, who don't have negative thoughts, right? That's what makes them awesome.
Yeah.
But for me, I have so many negative thoughts, so many voices in my head, so much
Really?
doubt, so much criticisms that I've overcome in some capacities. But I'm sure you also know that it's pretty much whatever motivates you. So
Yes.
when the going gets tough, it's one of those mantras that I have in my head of um, want, can, will, and
Yeah.
so that overcomes a lot of the struggle, a lot
Yeah.
of the mileage that I hit
Yeah.
when I'm kind of like, do I want to look defeated? Do I want everyone to be right about, that I never finish what I start? Do I want people close to me?
Yeah. And it says a lot about your personality and the kind of person you are. I mean, for you
Mm-hmm.
to be able to, you know, draw some motivation, inspiration from the negative things that, yeah, because not all people
Yeah.
are able to do that. Sometimes when they hear a negative comment, or let's say they're being criticized, they just so
Um,
they will just easily give up and believe what people around them are saying.
well, yeah.
So
Thankfully, it works more often than not. But there are moments where the thoughts in my head, the stress that I'm under, the things happening at home, things happening at work, things happening wherever, or things happening with my trainees, right, that they share with me.
yeah,
I'll just be running, I'll think about them, then I start walking. Then I feel like, oh my gosh, this is too mentally difficult to continue, so I need to stop my run and then just walk it out or jog it in. um so so the more I can train, the better I'll be able to overcome some of these things.
cool. So coach, let's talk about um, what running does
Mm.
uh, to to the quality of your relationships. Before I ask you some questions, I would like to link this to the TED talk that I was listening to. I think that was a few weeks ago, and the title of that
Mm-hmm.
TED talk is "What Makes a Good Life." So this researcher, his name is Robert Waldinger. He's the director of the Harvard Study of Adult Development. So this is one of the most
Mm-hmm.
comprehensive longitudinal studies in the history. So since 1938, they've studied the lives of two groups of men. The first group started in the study when they were at Harvard College. They all finished college during World
Mm-hmm.
War II, and then most of them were discharged to serve in the war. The second group of men or boys they followed was from Boston's poorest neighborhoods. And then according to Waldinger, the researcher, the clearest message that they've got from this 75-year study was, quote unquote, good relationships keep them happier and healthier. Or in other words,
Mm-hmm.
good life is built with good relationships. So going back to, yeah, to the relationships that you have? Like, what does running have some sort of contributions to the quality of your relationship? Let's say as a friend.
Oh, okay. So
Or your friendships, yeah.
oh, I can tie it in. So I'll tie it in this. When I'm able to run and when I'm able to train regularly and follow a light schedule, a pretty good schedule, I'm much more relaxed. I'm much more able to almost enjoy life because I feel I've accomplished something. So if I finish my run in the mornings, the rest of the day is pretty good,
Wow.
pretty relaxed, pretty happy.
Yeah.
And then when I have it in the afternoon or evening, it's going to be whenever I come home, I feel I'm a bit I guess more pleasant to be around person, because I was able to release whatever anxiety and whatever was clouding my mind.
Yeah.
And I think that affects both my friends and my family and my coworkers back in the day, when I'm able to just have a healthy balance of work, family, and personal life. Better things happen, and I'm able to control my mind and control my feelings and emotions better.
Oh.
When I don't have regular running, like when I was injured in running and I couldn't run for a month or two, or when I'm feeling very sedentary and not feeling very lazy, I'm a little bit shorter tempered. I'm a little bit more anxious. I'm a bit more irritable because I
Yeah.
haven't been able to have that regular exercise, that regular run.
Yeah.
And it's been amazing having my wife and my kids support me. Not just support me, because I think a lot of people can say that, but they've also seen me. I've coached my wife. It didn't last very long, but I coached her for about 2 months. Um, and I coached my son and actually both boys. I coached them, and I think they are able to see me as a coach and see me as doing what I love to do.
Nice.
Whereas before I coached them, before that, they would just kind of see me coming home with my medals, see me coming home very tired, and they supported it, but I think they didn't know it.
Yeah.
And knowing how I am as a coach, knowing how I am as an athlete, they saw me finishing some races, so then they can see, oh, grabe, Papa's actually pretty good.
Wow.
We see,
And they get to
like we
appreciate the
see,
hard work, yeah, that you put in.
I think so. I'm sure if you talk to them, they'll say, oh no, we always loved Papa. We always thought he was an amazing runner. But there's something when you can see the finish line and see me finishing in the top 50, see me finishing in the top 100, and you're like, whoa, Papa finished ahead of a lot of people that look better than him, a lot of people that look more fit, a lot of people that have bigger muscles. That's pretty, I think it's just that admiration aspect, and I think my wife has supported me even more because she's seen me as a coach. She's met a lot of my trainees.
Hi, Monique.
and she's
sure
able
gonna watch
to,
it.
I guess, when I have once a year, I have my trainees come to our house, and then we have get together,
Yes,
fun
party.
family, fun activities. But then I also try to add an element of reflection and sharing.
Yes.
And I think having my wife hear what it's meant for them to be part of the program, to be coached by me, and for me to coach all of you has been another level of appreciation that she's had for what I do, because it's very difficult to see someone succeed in that capacity, diba? And bring it home. And I think a lot of people don't get that, right? If you work corporate,
Yeah,
your family won't know how good of a marketing strategist you
you
are because
are.
they're not in the board meetings, or what kind of broad stroke decisions you make that make the company better. But to see me as a coach, to see the effect I have on people, I think is really something that they've appreciated, and I've gained a lot of energy from their uh, appreciation of that,
Yeah,
even more so than me, because I don't go home and say, "Grabe, I'm an awesome coach. I'm the best." I
yeah,
don't do.
yeah,
I made someone cry today. Like, I don't do that.
yeah, yeah.
Whereas now, they were able to see that, and I think that's really special.
That's really cool. So since we're already talking about your family, how does
Mm-hmm.
running sort of help you to become a better father and a better husband to Monique?
Um, I think it helps me be a better husband and better father, because it's very important to have me time, right? I think
Mm.
I suppose that for my wife, I have my boys, carve out a portion of the day, a portion of the week for them, for all of us to kind of extend ourselves, and not focus so much on their jobs, not focus so much on their role in our family, but focus on what they like to do and have fun and relax. Um, and I think they have seen something about running. It's like you take it home with you, and I've been able to do that. I've been able to come home and I'm like really wiped out, and I think um, they really appreciate. Um, they can see how much more relaxed I am. Sometimes I worry for my wife because I come home and I've got all these like crazy ideas. I'm like, "Hon, let's move to Japan. Hon, I think I
Please
think
don't. Please don't move
I
to
think I
Japan.
finally realized what we can do with our boys. I think we should, do this, do this, do this. I think we should remodel our house this way." And she's like, "Hon, it's only
Okay.
8 a.m." And I'm like,
Slow down.
Yeah, but I just ran 20 kilometers, but trust me, this will work." So I think in some ways she's like, "Oh, okay, good for you, but I think they enjoy that I'm able to have my time and refuel and re-energize.
Yeah, and I've witnessed how much your boys and your wife Monique adore you. And we
Mm-hmm.
had this Christmas party last year, and unfortunately, that might not happen this year because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an incredible experience, and that I get to witness how, I mean, how in how amazing your family is. Yeah, it's you really, you know um embody that. Your family really embodies that. You guys are happy, you're well rounded, and you're just very down to earth people. Yeah. If I didn't mention that to you before, I don't know why, but here I'm telling you that, yeah, your family is very lucky to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So,
I'm the lucky
Coach.
one.
Oh
I'm the
yeah,
lucky one.
yeah. You're
Yes.
also lucky to have them, definitely. Yeah. So, what
Yeah.
part of running brings you the
Mm.
most joy?
Mm. Okay, so I guess me as a runner, for myself, it brings me a lot of joy when I'm able to get a PR, personal best, um, especially when I know I put in a lot of hard work
Mhm.
to get there.
Yes.
Um, the other element of that is me as a coach, me as a friend, is whether I'm pacing with someone and then we're able to hit a really good time, is very, it's almost the best, when I'm able to
Best
pace
feeling. Yeah.
someone, or if they're able to run themselves and, you know, do really well, podium, Miss Rachel, who podiums, that's always great. And one of the things I always tell my runners is process the race. After you run your race, after you do your training, after you do your drills, process it and figure out what you did well and what you did wrong. And
Absolutely.
many of the runners do that, and they do that on their Facebook post, and that's where they share,
Like
thanks to
me.
Coach Vince for the hill training, or for that 3 kilometer sprint last 3 kilometer sprint. And so that's brings so much joy to me, and I share those posts to my wife, I share them to my kids, I let them read, because the little things that make a big difference, is very good.
And Coach, I don't think you have, like, I don't you don't know how inspiring you are. I'm sorry, are you still there, Coach? Oh, sorry.
Yes.
It was just too quiet. So you're
I was just like
yes,
screen
dead quiet, and then I thought I got disconnected. And yeah, you're again, I mentioned this earlier, you're such a great source of inspiration to all of us. And you don't just, I mean, you go beyond the sports, you go beyond the athlete, you coach the person. And I think that's why you're great. That's why you're doing a great job, because you don't just see the athletes, but you see the people.
I hope I feel that there's more to be done, which is also inspiring to keep going, diba? And to keep changing and evolving as a coach.
And you're
I'm
changing
sure
so
there's
many.
more I can do.
Yeah,
So
and you're changing so many lives, if you don't realize that yet. I'm telling you, not just mine, but you've changed so many lives as well, because you're such a great coach.
thank you.
Yeah. So, Coach, we were talking about podiums, but not all the time. We can't expect everyone to podium or to set a PR for themselves. But so let's talk about the lessons that you learned the hard way from failures that you experienced in the past. So what is the biggest lesson you learned the hard way, and how have you dealt with those failures in the past?
Again, this can be broken up in different ways, but I'll try to keep it shorter and respond faster. I think, not skipping some drills, some trainings, like skipping hill training, skipping
Especially
heat
hill training.
And not running in the afternoons, not getting used to that, not waking up early, some of the things that make a difference in terms of performance. There's races that in preparation for it, I know I didn't train as hard as I normally should have. I skipped some days, and I regret that.
We're all guilty of that at some
so
point.
seriously. But I think that's part of the problem in the Philippines, in terms of the running community, in terms of the running way running is here, where there's so many races every week. So hard to get really motivated each race, each time. And I think I get very lazy about picking one that I'm going to go for. So that's one of the harder lessons I've learned, is just being too lazy, just easing into something and not always trying to go for a personal best. And I know many people will say, oh, it's not supposed to be that way, it's not supposed to be run hard every single time. But races aren't cheap. And when I know I did enough training but not the complete training, that's when it really bugs me. And that's
Like
when it really,
when you realize you could have done better.
yeah. Or when it's ruined by a heavy night of eating the
Carb
day or two
loading.
before. Yeah,
Too
carbo
much carb
loading or
loading.
not sleeping early enough the week before. You know, the little things I know would have made a bigger difference, I think, are some of my bigger regrets in terms of performance during the race. Um, yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's it.
let's get a bit philosophical. Just a bit.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
my next question for you is, what is the belief that you hold with which many people tend to disagree? I heard a sigh.
Mm. I I like to push. I
Mm,
like to, if you have energy, I like to finish hard, to
mhm,
finish strong, to let it all out, you
mhm.
know, to not have
Oh,
regrets. And I think that's not a very popular opinion in some, for some people, because I think some people prefer that you just ease it in.
yeah. Stay
It's
within their comfort
okay.
zone. Yeah.
Yeah, like you already did this, you already finished the race, good job. And I feel, you know, if you're capable of it, if you're trained well for it, you should always go for something
Yeah.
greater, something better. um, so I think that's a little bit of an unpopular opinion, you know. Even in the drills I do, even the coaching I do, it's not easy. It's not, you know, other people who train might not push as hard, or might,
Yeah.
you know, take it easier, or just do long runs. And I think that mentality of, as a runner, as well as a coach, um, you know, I really try hard to make people run beyond themselves. And I think
Yeah.
that's something that's a little bit unpopular to some. um, but you know, that's why you hire a coach. The
Yes,
coach is
exactly.
supposed to
And
push you a little bit,
that's why you're
you know?
so great about your, I mean, that's why you're so great about, coaching, because
Mm,
you do push us to, yeah, achieve more,
yeah.
work harder.
Especially when I know that you can, and that you're
Yeah.
willing to accept
And
being coached.
most of the time you're right. I
Most
mean,
of the time.
most of the
Yeah,
time you like, I'm speaking for myself. Like, I thought that there's nothing left, but then
yeah,
okay, you do this. Oh, there's actually more. But how did I not
yeah.
realize that? But I did realize that because of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's incredible.
Yeah.
So, coach, apart from
Yes.
running, what makes you lose track of time?
Mm, well, of course, just hanging out with the kids,
Mhm.
playing games with them, talking to my kids, talking to my wife. I feel like they have heard everything already from me. I kind of feel like, you know, there's little, very few things I haven't shared with them in terms of uh, things, and I can get very carried away. Um, I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch a lot of weird, trivial type things
Because
on
you
YouTube.
like learning, right? So that's why you enjoy it.
I like learning, but sometimes with some of the things I learn, I really don't know why I'm watching. You know, like animal fighting each other. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Oh,
That's
okay. So it's not
okay.
always
So that's
educational.
how the lion attacks hyenas. I'm like, okay, that has nothing to do with anything. But
Uh-huh.
you'll see, if you attend some of the trainings, I might bring up some of these random cuentos to you guys. I'm like, hey, you know, when the lion is hunting the hyena, it's not always about endurance. It's also about speed burst. It's also about mental games. So I find weird ways to tie in some weird analogies to you guys. So I do a lot of that. So I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch a lot of again, like I said, I watch a lot of different sports. I feel like I've watched pretty much every sport, and I like to learn about every sport, and I like to
Nice.
learn why. I like to learn, okay, so rugby. So in rugby, they like to do this. Wow, that seems senseless, but at the same time, that's really awesome. Or
Yeah.
softball. Why softball versus baseball? Or why gymnastics? Why would someone get into gymnastics? You know, blah blah blah.
It's always
So it's
why.
just amazing to learn from other athletes
Yeah.
and just try to bring it into what I like and to bring
Yeah.
it into you guys. So
Wow. So, coach, what's the
yes.
most valuable life lesson that you didn't find in books, or that you didn't see from a YouTube video, or that you didn't hear from other people, that you just sort of discovered on your own?
Well, I think it's something that is often said, and everyone hears about it, right? That how mental running is,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you really, you hear about it like, okay, what's that, coach? Yeah, sure, 80% is mental of a
Yeah,
marathon.
but
Yeah,
really,
try to,
what does it mean, right?
and it's really, you really have to experience it. You really
Mm,
have to understand a marathon is not easy.
mm,
It's not, um, it's not but it is very possible, right? We all know people who
yes.
do marathons and they're like very overweight or very unathletic when
Mm-hmm.
they start,
When they
but
start.
then by the time they finish the training they're like a whole different person. And
Yeah,
so there's
that's what's
something
so
with that where
amazing about learning.
it's really it's just really amazing in that sense, um that
Mhm.
mental anguish that running can be. Not every run is going to be a good run. Not
Yes.
every is going to be a good race, but just being able to finish, mentally getting yourself going
Yeah.
when you're really tired, when you're really dehydrated, when you're really out in the middle of nowhere is really a challenge that I don't think it'll ever be solved until you're an Olympic champion. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I think even like the bottom 10%, the top 10 athletes in the world still battle with that, how to go beyond
Yeah.
whatever mental blocks they've put in.
Yeah.
And, just experiencing that is really the biggest learning I've had is
Yeah.
experiencing it. And most of the time I win with, just overcoming it. But no, actually it's the opposite. Most of the time I lose
Mm-hmm.
in that. Because if I were to win every time, I'd always be PRing, right?
Yeah.
I'd always be improving, but I'm not. So it's just that constant battle of what I should do is in the race is just amazing
Yeah, and
to
also
learn.
apart from the those achievement and the PRs, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
going beyond the that those rewards that we experience because of running, it's also, I think, discovering more about ourselves as we immerse ourselves into the process, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
when we train, we work hard for it, we train hard for the race. And then I think just the in between, the start, what's in between when you start and when you finish, it's there. For me, the joy is really there, somewhere in the
Mm-hmm.
middle. Yeah.
And it's a very personal thing.
Yes.
It's not something that I can just package and hand it to you. Like, okay,
Yeah.
Rachel, this is what I was thinking from all of this. Now you do it. You do exactly this. It's not a formula. Like, it's really complicated,
Yeah.
and it changes almost every kilometer, every
Yeah.
race. So
Cool. So is there a specific running goal you have yet to achieve, Coach?
Of course. Of course. I really want to be a Boston qualifier. And I know that's very difficult, especially, in the heat and the conditions in the Philippines. But I truly believe that training in the Philippines gets you stronger because of the condition, the heat conditions that we're in. But at the same time, I really want to be a Boston qualifier, and I know it's achievable. I know if I were to really train and really cut things out that I don't want to cut out in my life, I know it's possible. And I've met so many Boston qualifiers that I know it's possible. It's just I have to cut my time down pretty significantly. But that's why I'm always looking at that goal. I'm not looking just to, qualify for Milo. I'm not just looking to podium their local races. It's really to be a Boston qualifier, because usually that time is much faster than a podium achievement here. So in the most races. So I think I have to run at least a 3-hour marathon, which is just crazy to think about. But I've seen people do it, and I've seen people train hard for it. So that's my target. And, I'm giving myself at least 10 years to do it, which is a long time. But I think that's what it takes to do it. Or 5 years, 10 years, whatever.
Yeah, that's really admirable. I mean, the fact that you know that it takes time, it takes a lot of work to be able to achieve something great. It just sends the right message to everyone that, if you want to achieve something, you gotta work hard, you gotta put in a lot of effort.
Yeah,
because we don't wake up one morning and we're already being able to run 5K in 19 minutes, 15 minutes. That just doesn't happen, right?
I know. No. So just thinking about it makes me wanna throw up.
Great things really do take time, and it needs a lot of effort to be achieved. So, Coach, we're gonna move on to Fast 5. So you're just gonna answer, no explanation at all.
Sure.
Just answer. It could be a phrase or a sentence.
Yep. Sure.
Sorry, but you can't explain.
Gotta prepare myself.
Okay, we're calling it Fast 5.
Yep.
The first question is, if you had the opportunity to get a message across a large group of people, what would your message be?
Just to dream beyond themselves.
Question number 2, if you could choose one book as a mandatory read, I know you mentioned A Duel in the Sun earlier, but if you could choose one book as a mandatory read for runners or athletes in general, which book would that be?
I think A Duel in the Sun.
Still, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Question number 3, what is something you do differently than most people? I might have a good idea about your answer already.
In terms of running.
It could be more than running. It could be something else.
I guess in terms of running, I like to do heat training. I like to run in the heat.
Okay. Right. That's I knew something. I learned something new about you today. What are you most grateful for?
In life, I'm most grateful for my wife and my 2 boys.
Wow, that's incredible. What is the most important lesson year 2020 has taught you?
Just to be more positive, be more positive, be more grateful.
Thanks. So we're gonna wrap things up already. The last part would be just fill in the blanks. Fill in the blanks.
Sure.
Okay, I didn't feel that it was. Has it already been an hour? Yeah. Wow. Been a great. It's been a great afternoon. Thank you, Coach. So let's wrap it up. Fill in the blanks. Success for me is
achieving goals.
I stay motivated by. Oh, sorry. It's okay. We can go back to that.
I stay motivated by thinking about my kids.
Wow. If I could talk to my teenage self, the one thing I would say is
you don't have to do or be don't have to do what everyone else is doing.
The topic I need to learn more about to help me live a more fulfilling life is
how to eat nutritional foods. How to eat healthier.
And the last one would be I feel happiest when
I feel happiest when I see other people achieve their goals.
Wow. It's been an incredible afternoon with you, Coach. Grabe, I've learned a lot. And I'm sure many people, not just in the running community, will surely, learn a lot from this episode. And I'm very grateful that you accepted my invitation.
Of
and
course.
That you're so game about this. So any last words, Coach?
Well, thank you, Rachel, for the interview. You really gave me a lot of thoughts that I don't usually think about or voice out. And I think this is going to be a great thing if you're able to continue this and talk to a variety of people in variety of different backgrounds. Because inspiration can come in any form and from anyone. And I think people often get clouded and confused by the kind of people they hear from and the people they put on a pedestal. So I think hearing it from different perspectives, different mindsets will be a good thing. And I wish you luck in your vlog and hopefully invite me again sometime.
Yes, definitely.
For a variety of things.
Cool. So, Coach, I'm sure this episode will reach people that are not within our community or circle. So if I'll give you the opportunity to probably to follow you on social media. So how
Oh, wow.
Yes, so how can they follow you on social
if anyone wants to follow me, I guess the easiest would be on Instagram at Invincible Running. Invincible Running on Instagram. That'll be the best. They can send me private messages if they have questions. Facebook, I'm kind of leaning closer to being a bit restrictive as to who I add. But I think Instagram is probably the best because they're meeting me as a runner and as a coach. So I think that's the best place to interact with me. Yeah, I think Instagram.
Wow.
Invincible Running.
I do hope you enjoyed and gained multiple perspectives from this episode. Please like and visit Sports on Purpose Facebook page. And like, share, and subscribe to Sports on Purpose YouTube channel. Until next time!